Da-dum-dum. Just cleaning all my gear. Da-da-da-dum.
Okay.
Just cleaning all my gear. You know, when you use it a lot, you gotta clean it a lot.
Yeah, and I was hoping that singing is over, but unfortunately, you're always starting again. But I have a question to stop you from singing after the intro.
Ooh. Welcome back to another episode of reviewing your underwater films. And before I start singing again, what was your question?
Well, I heard a rumor
Oh, I love rumors.
that you were on Porto Santo and you
Correct.
were filming an event
Correct.
exclusively with an iPhone.
Also correct. Yeah, mostly correct.
Aha, here we go. Mostly correct.
Yeah.
So tell me more about it.
Well, it was the Madeira Underwater Photo and Film Competition, a live event that takes place once a year, either on the island of Madeira or on the neighboring island of Porto Santo. This year we were on Porto Santo. And there were about 30 something people competing in like photography and videography categories. They've started to make a big focus, or put a big focus on smartphones and using smartphones to capture stuff. They've finally allowed smartphones inside the competition. That's been a big no-no for many years because you can cheat and yeah. But like on these competitions, they've gone that way and said, look, smartphones are fine because that's the way the industry is moving. And so we agreed with Pedro, who was the organizer, or who is the organizer of those events, and who hired me for the event. And I was just I was basically doing an event coverage for the entire event, doing like little pieces for Instagram of every day, and like a full video at the end of the trip, the end of the event. And Pedro asked me if I can do everything with my smartphone, because obviously along the whole concept of enabling and pushing smartphones into that market, he wanted that too. And I said, yeah, well, it's no problem at all. I've got my dive gear. I can get you professional looking footage with my iPhone. No problem at all. And that's what we did. So everything that we captured underwater was captured with either an iPhone or a Samsung phone inside a dive housing. And that is pretty
cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's the first time for me that I was actually being paid to capture underwater footage with my smartphone, and that's actually really cool, seeing where this development is moving to. And it's definitely it's been the easiest paid trip for me when it comes to packing.
Just your hand luggage.
I did not really need any big extra bags to bring all my big stuff with me. I basically just had space in between my clothing and my dive gear to put all the stuff that I needed to bring from the dive fork ecosystem. And that was really awesome. I really enjoyed that.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you were
cool.
using like the dive housing, obviously. You were using like the clamp to put filters on. You were using like handles, I guess.
Yes.
Lights.
I was using handles. I'm gonna actually show you something. Hold on.
Totally prepared.
Totally prepared, as I always am.
Here we go.
So it's not the exact rig that I used, but it's something very similar to what I used, which is obviously the housing, a filter adapter. Now there's a close-up lens on here, but usually I had my red filter and the wide-angle conversion lens on there. I had some floats. These are not from Divefork. They're just generic floats that I happen to already have had in my arsenal. And then lights obviously on here. Here I've got the 5000 lumen. Here I've got the 5000 lumen light, and here I have the 2000 lumen light with the color filter, which is actually really cool to get some more creative shots that way, with like a snoot module on there. And they're not on this rig right now, but I was using Divefork's new 5000 lumen underwater video lights that come with a remote control. So they connect with an fiber optic cable, thank you, to each of the video lights, and then you have your little remote here somewhere by the grip, the handle, and you can easily control both lights with one remote control, which is actually really cool, especially because if you're getting closer to something, you can dial down the intensity as you get closer, so you don't overexpose your imagery
Cool.
that way. And that's what I've been using most of the time as a piece of equipment that way, and everyone was happy with the result. Everyone was satisfied, and I think this has not been the last time that I was going somewhere on a paid gig using my iPhone and the Divefog ecosystem.
Cool. So the question is now, why are you telling all about that?
Well, because you asked, first of all, but second, I just want to share with people that the Divefog gear, or basically smartphones inside of Divefog gear, can really produce amazing underwater footage, and can be sufficient for like even professional work. And Divefog, being the sponsor of our video series here, also has a very good offer for you guys. You can get a 6% discount on any purchase that you make from the Divefog store, whether it is the housing, accessories, lights, trays, whatever you want to get. 6% you can add on top as a discount by either using the link down in the video description below or entering the code Matthias Lebo. And you have to enter it at checkout.
Oh, you learned.
I learned from last time. I learned. So thank you very much, Divefog, for sponsoring this series here and helping us out by creating such amazing underwater imagery equipment. I'll put this away, and in the meantime, you can tell us whose video we're watching today.
I'll do that, yeah. Cool.
Excellent.
Well, today's video is from a well-known friend from us. It's from Rodrigo Echeverri.
Ooh.
But Rodrigo was telling us that he can't take the credit for all of the video. So he told us he has a, how you say that, a collective, which is AquaRod, and behind AquaRod there are 3 people doing like editing, filming, sound design, music, and all that stuff together.
Wow.
So actually the submission is from the whole collective, from the whole team, from AquaRod.
Right, and also his channel is also branded that way, right?
Yeah, it's AquaRod, yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Now, let's not waste any more time and let's get right into his video. Do we know where it was filmed? Have you got any information about that?
Komodo.
Does that put a smile on your face?
Oh yeah, it does. It does. It does.
It does.
It's like, I don't know, how many weeks? 4 weeks, 5 weeks?
Not even 3 weeks, I think. By the
3?
time this video gets published, it's probably 3 weeks.
Amazing.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna
Okay,
be, it's gonna be amazing.
This is gonna be, well, it's kind of
like an appetizer for us.
It's an appetizer for our upcoming Bali and Komodo trip. Thank you so much, Rodrigo, for this, and let's watch this production by AquaRod.
The sun rises at the Komodo National Park. The color of the sunrise serves as a reminder of this land's volcanic origins. Origins dating back millions of years. This is a land of endless shades of blue and green, rich in biodiversity. Many know its name thanks to its eponymous dragon. Located in Indonesia, the national park was established in 1980 and is comprised of several islands. It was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1991 and selected as one of the new 7 wonders of the world. The Komodo archipelago is uniquely positioned in the sea. It acts as a meeting point of 2 of the planet's largest bodies of water. The Indian Ocean brings in cold currents from the south, while warm Pacific waters come in from the north. The convergence of these 2 colossal bodies of water creates strong currents, which fish love. These passages in Komodo National Park have for millions of years been vital gateways for the continuous exchange of marine flora and fauna. The rich planktonic feast carried by the water forms the foundation of one of the richest marine ecosystems on the planet. The consequence of all this is a bustling underwater metropolis full of colour, activity, and life. A kaleidoscope of colour and movement paints the reef. Red coral paints the ocean floor, and algae paints the shell of a hawksbill turtle. Unlike its cleaner relative, the green turtle, the hawksbill keeps the algae on as camouflage.
Clever boy.
In typical relaxed turtle fashion, this female almost bumped into us as the current took her along during our dive in Batu Bolong. This is a broad club cuttlefish. At first glance, it may look docile, but looks can be deceiving. As the second largest species of cuttlefish in the world, it needs to be especially good at blending in with its surroundings. He extends his feeding tentacles, an indication of an incoming strike. Or that would have been the case, if not for a little indigestion. In the heart of the Komodo National Park, these manta rays have arrived at the aptly named Manta Alley for their regular morning routine. This is their cleaning station. The rays do the marine equivalent of a morning bath. Large, slow, and majestic in their movement, the rays indicate their arrival by entering a stationary position and exposing themselves to the nearby fish. Gill scrubs, tail reflexology, wing therapies, and cephalic lobe facials all must be provided. However, this isn't just a free spa for the manta rays. This is also where they come to socialize and build relationships with their own kind. As wrasses feast on the parasites, dead skin, and debris they remove from the ray's body, it may come with the odd tickle, a small sacrifice for a good scrub. The sheer size of the manta ray can help shelter the fish with their wings, hiding them from predators. This, undoubtedly, is a win-win situation and highlights the intricate webs of interdependence that sustain our ocean's organisms. With their graceful and elegant movement, a white-tip shark is an uncommon sight these days. As it glides through the reef, its white-tipped fin helps to identify it. Sharks are essential predators for balancing the marine ecosystem, but their population has plummeted. This makes the sighting of a couple of juveniles a heartwarming relief. Here these playful siblings circle this crevice as they prepare to go out for a morning hunt. These pups are nearly a meter in length, around half the size they will reach in adulthood. That is, however, not a guarantee, as they are often hunted for their fins. The many passages between islands in Komodo are particularly rich in life. Plankton and other marine nutrients are forced across these paths. This eel garden is located right in the middle of the action. This densely populated garden is the result of a particularly strong current at the world-famous Shotgun dive site. As the sun sets, the world above the waves winds down. However, under the waves, new opportunities emerge, and different creatures appear, ready to take advantage. As light intensity drops, plankton rises from the ocean floor. This causes the reef to become more active with nocturnal life. The longhorn cowfish is a quirky marine marvel. Sporting a boxy body and elongated horn-like projections, they resemble underwater cattle. Their horns have grown longer over thousands of years to prevent predators from swallowing them, and, like their terrestrial counterpart, also move leisurely. Its languid pace doesn't hinder its survival, thanks to a potent toxin it secretes from its skin. Unlike garden eels, this ribbon eel prefers to live alone. This adult male has a vibrant blue body and yellow mouth. It's an ambush predator and uses its wing-like nostrils as antennae, letting it sense its environment for predators or prey. The nostrils also act like lures for would-be prey, and it plays a waiting game, with its head popped out and mouth wide open. This white-spotted hermit crab has found itself a nice Triton trumpet shell, but it's having trouble navigating this turbid water. While it may seem cloudy with sand and debris, upon closer inspection, it's evident that the particles are alive. The water is full of plankton, which really is no more than a dense soup of yummy worms, arthropods, and small fish for the hermit and its smaller relatives. Indonesia is blessed to be one of the most naturally beautiful and diverse regions on the planet, both on land and under the sea. The creation of the Komodo National Park is a much-needed step in the right direction. However, the conservation efforts required are monumental. Fish populations around the world are in sharp decline, and the deterioration of corals has been clearly visible over the last decade. Sharks have become a rare sight, and manta rays are increasingly less common. We need to protect a much larger portion of coastal areas on the planet to ensure that the marine environment will be able to sustain itself. Our hope is that the beauty we enjoy now can continue to be experienced for generations to come.
All right.
Not bad, not bad, not bad. AquaRod. I like that.
Me too. Me too.
You've got a lot scribbled down on your paper again.
Yeah. I try to find spots where I can write down stuff. Maybe I'll find everything during the feedback.
Cool. Well, you caught me, Rodrigo, or AquaRod, right there from the very beginning with that really cool title that came up behind the volcano, behind the mountain. I really enjoyed that. That was like, oh, this is serious. This is serious stuff we're watching.
You're easy to catch.
I am. But this was cool.
Yeah, it was.
I enjoyed it. I love those
Sure,
revealing titles. Also, maybe because I know that they do involve a little bit of work to get them done. They're not just, drag and drop, or unless you, Rodrigo, know some AI tools that I don't yet. But that caught my eye right at the beginning. And I also thought that your introduction into the Komodo National Park and the drone footage and the land-based footage and stuff was actually nice and suitable as an introduction to what we were going to be seeing later on. I have one question mark with the intro sequence, and that's 2 drone shots that seemed to me to be photos that were zoomed in. I'm not entirely sure, and I might be completely wrong, but 2 shots that were from way up in the sky. I paid close attention, but I couldn't see any movement.
Was it the one where you were going close to the screen? Because the one you were going close to the screen, I was pretty sure the ocean, the water was moving.
You were. That's what I was trying to figure out to see, and I wasn't. But for some reason, they just seemed also the movement. It seemed like it wasn't a camera movement, but a zooming movement that happened. And I can't really describe why I think that's the case, but it's a feeling that I've got that all the other shots, the movement seemed to be more natural than in those 2. And there was 2 shots where I'm not entirely sure. I'm probably wrong. Please don't get this the wrong way, but it seemed to me like these were photos that were zoomed in and not video clips with a moving camera. That's the only thing that sort of was a bit disturbing to me in that intro sequence. Do you got anything about the start of the documentary?
No, just in overall, I liked it very much. Like the variety of shots we saw, like there was everything in it, from wide angle to close up, moving shots, steady shots, up, down, everything. What I especially liked, and I think we talked about it last week, is the how you say that, the ratio between narration and silence or just music. Because like there was a lot of information, but at the same time there was a lot of pauses in between. It's a music time, but so you had time to enjoy the visuals
process.
Process was a good word. Process.
I agree. I also wrote down narration, tone, and speed. I also found the speed of the narration very, very nice.
Yeah,
it was not too fast. It was slow, chilled, relaxed, and as you were saying, with plenty of breaks in between to showcase the stuff that was talked about. We need to keep in mind though, and I know you're referring to Mike's video that we watched last week, we need to keep in mind though that this video is a fair bit longer. We're here at like 12 and a half, nearly 13 minutes.
Yeah, you have more opportunity to...
compared to like the 4.5 minutes of Mike's video from last week. So it's a different not a different league, but it's just a different format, really.
Yeah.
This is a medium-sized documentary, where Mike's documentary last week was really a short documentary. So it's easier to put a lot more information in a longer piece, obviously, and still have plenty of time to breathe in between the narrational parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the variety of the shots. I really enjoyed the macro shots. We used to that from you, Rodrigo. We know that you can capture some stunning macro macro imagery, and you've proven that again on this production here. Some really cool stuff there. On the wide-angle shots, the ones that were in shallow water were really nice, where you had plenty of ambient, natural sunlight coming in. They looked really nice. The colors looked nice on these ones too. On the wide-angle shots that were a little deeper down, there it seemed like you were having a little bit of trouble color grading these shots. I saw, or quite a few shots, I saw a rather strong shift into the magenta side in the shadows, especially in the shadows, which this is not dramatic, but it's just something that I noticed. And I looked at it throughout the documentary and realized towards the end that it only happened on shots that must have been taken deeper down and wide angle, where you were not getting enough light, I guess, from your video lights or the ambient light that was reaching down to that area. And I don't know whether or not it was even possible to correct that in any way, in any sort of reasonable time frame.
What I as well noticed is that especially the land shots, but as well some underwater shots, they had a quite digital look. I'm not sure if it is like because to watch it here, we downloaded it.
Yeah.
If it's just a compression of it, but it was not the entire documentary. There were single clips which had like, I don't know, it looked like a little bit over sharpened, a little bit overcorrected. I don't know. It's not dramatic. It's just like I saw it, especially on the surface footage.
Yeah.
It wasn't looking that nice as the underwater footage, but some of the underwater pieces as well had a quite sharp look to it. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just from the camera or any correction.
It might as well just be the compression.
Yeah.
You might want to hop over to AquaRod's YouTube channel after this and watch it.
And have a look. Yeah.
In as it is uploaded on the channel in the highest resolution, and maybe you're gonna find a difference there. But yeah, I agree on certain shots. Yeah.
You were talking about the colors, and I understand that you cannot match every scene to each another because like they were very different. Like we go into the mantas, which is pretty far down, then otherwise we were very shallow, so it's almost impossible to get them really, really matched up. But I think, I think sometimes there could have been done just for the overall look a little bit more to get them in line, because like even like the close-up shots and stuff, like they were just like always different. Maybe it's because that's we're paying special attention to it. If you're just watching it, I'm not sure if you really see it,
even realize it.
But it was like, okay, well now it's very saturated, and the other one is like, oh, okay, now it's like more desaturation, a little less contrast, something like that. But I can imagine, or I know it's pretty hard, 15 minutes to get them all in more or less in line.
And I don't think it's this important, because, and that's the good thing about a longer piece, that not ideal footage is more acceptable in a longer piece than it is in a highlight reel, a short piece. If you only have a video that's only like 90 seconds long, you can't really have a shot in there which is not superb or not the best possible, right? But if you do like a 13, 14 minute documentary, you basically just need a lot of footage to showcase what the narrator is talking about. And in that case, it's not the main focus is not on having the ideal, like perfect shot, but it's also getting the shot of the animal doing a certain action. And even if you look at, like, big major productions, let's talk BBC, National Geographic, all these guys, even in their productions, yes, that's very different, but even there, they will include shots that are taken maybe also with worse cameras, like with GoPros and stuff, just because they get a specific action taken and recorded. And it's like then more important to have that shot in there rather than having like a perfect shot.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big advantage of longer pieces, that you can every now and then put in a shot that is not ideal. Obviously, if none of the shots is ideal and they're all bad, then your production sucks.
Well, that's definitely not the case here.
That's definitely not the case here. And the ratio between really good shots and shots that, I would have not included in a highlight reel, perfectly fine, because that's not the intention here.
Agreed.
Excellent. Do you have anything else?
I have one thing, but again, minor thing, is the ratio between narration voice and music. And I think when the narrator is talking, you could, conduct the music a little bit more. I think I had the feeling, especially towards the end, it was a little bit too prominent.
The music?
Yeah.
Even while the narrator was talking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's maybe just a personal taste.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just maybe a few dB down, and just give the narration a little bit more space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think that's it. Trying to get my chaos here in line. Yeah. Do you have anything else?
I actually do. I have one thing, and I'm not entirely sure how to phrase this, and it's got to do with the message at the very end of the documentary. And this is something that I know that a lot of documentaries do make that connection, and after showing all the beauty, they come to that conclusion of, this is all, we need to protect our oceans and save them for future generations and all that sort of stuff. And honestly speaking, that's all good, and don't get me wrong here. Having gone through a lot of live competitions in my past, I have kind of gotten sick of that message, because it's the one message that every single competition video was, going for. Everyone was going in one way or another for, we need to protect the oceans. And I don't want to say that that's not important, not at all. But it's kind of, at one point it just kind of got to me that it was too much, always that same message. And I always tried to turn it around and just show the nice things and not really talk about that we need to protect it, because that's kind of obvious that we have to do that. I don't even know how else to explain that point. And it's not something that, I know that many documentaries make that statement at the end, and it's all okay. I probably would not want to do this. If I was going to do a documentary like this, I think I would leave that away and leave on a positive note. Because to me, this is like, we're leaving the documentary, which was a really nice piece of work. I really enjoyed watching it, but we're leaving this piece on a, for me, negative connotation, a negative note. And I would much rather leave on a positive note. And yeah, does that make sense?
It does make sense, and I totally support that, because that's what we're doing when we do in our workshops, and we just push people to get out there to show the beauty of the ocean. And then just because if everybody knows how beautiful the ocean is, they know that it's worth saving. On the other hand, it's the director's choice what kind of feeling he wants to give you at the end. So
absolutely.
If it's the choice of AquaRod to leave you with this okay, what I have to do, what can I do? It's okay. I think it's hard, as you said, because you leave with a negative feeling, and you have a negative feeling about the film, and the film is not bad, but you leave with a negative feeling. Yeah, but it's definitely a choice of storytelling and message transportation to do it that way. And yeah, I agree. A lot of stuff is like in this direction. Yeah, we have to save our oceans. It's it's not kind of getting. I don't want to say it's getting old, because it's still true. It's still valid.
Oh, it's still true. It's still yeah.
But yeah,
it's just more action is needed, you know, and I like to take action rather than talk about it. And again, not judging, as you said, completely up to the choice of the producers to pass on whichever message they want. I just wanted to place it here that I would not end a documentary on a note like that. Just personal choice. All right. Anything else?
No. Oh, well, now it's your turn to sum it up.
It's my turn to sum it up. I'm looking forward to that, because I was scribbling down while you were talking, so I have a few points ready for you there. AquaRod, the team of AquaRod. So we really enjoyed the variety of the shot. I think you've created a very, very nice piece of underwater imagery of a documentary here, giving us plenty of wide angle, mid shots, close-ups. It worked very, very nicely together with the narration, the tone, the speed of the narration, and also the music that you were putting into this. And it just works very nicely as a complete mid-sized documentary. So I know, I can just imagine how much work this must have been, and kudos for going that way and putting this together for everyone else to enjoy and be able to dive in Komodo National Park, even if they're not lucky enough to come with us in a couple times a week and see it for themselves. Things that we think you should work on or could be improved in our opinion is, for one, the color. There was certain clips in there where we thought that the color grade was a little bit inconsistent, pushed a little too much to the magenta side, especially the shots that were taken deeper down in deeper waters. Sometimes they can be difficult, and I know Komodo, oftentimes the visibility is not great, and that doesn't really help with getting a nice consistent color grade. And then the second thing is the sound design per se and the volume between narration, music. We found that in certain situations the volume could have been adjusted a little more so the narration would have been heard a little clearer. That's just how we perceived it here through the little microphones or the little speakers on our MacBook Pro as we were watching that documentary. So thank you, AquaRod. Thank you, Rodrigo and team, for submitting this awesome documentary and having us show it to our audience here. As always, the video and AquaRod's channel will be linked down in the video description below, so hop over there and have a look at all the other amazing content that this group of people is creating. They're really doing some great work. Go and check it out for yourself.
Well, if you guys want us to review one of your videos,
Thank you.
Then send us a video to contact@MatthiasLebo.com.
An email, not a video.
Oh, but when I say
send us a video.
Yeah, so you confuse me.
Yeah.
So please send us an email to contact@MatthiasLebo.com with a link to your video, please. In the email and a little description, what your film, camera, equipment, and so on. Yeah. And I'm running out of words.
Hubbity. We're done. Okay. Well, let's not drag this any further out. And thank you to all of you guys for sticking with us. Thanks for watching and for your time. We look forward to seeing you back here on the channel for the next episode of reviewing your underwater films. While you're watching the next episode, we will No, we will not.
No, we'll not.
Oh, I'm too far ahead. I'm too excited now about the Komodo trip already. Forget what I said. We will be here in the studio with you next week, next Thursday, same place, same time for the next episode of reviewing your underwater films. I can't wait to see you back here with us. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.